We do need to find another word. Adjectives.
Other than it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
We need a different adjective.
Fine is so
Bland.
hi. Yeah. Bland. Hi. Welcome to the Sun Dragon Sideshow.
The Adventures of Liz, Rebecca, and Hannah.
Aha. And we really need something. I keep saying this. We need another to figure out what else to add to that so we can all say something at the beginning. But hi, I'm Rebecca. I said that. I'm Rebecca. I felt like I said that weird. Probably didn't. Sorry. We're not starting over. I'm the owner of Sun Dragon Art Fiber in Brevard, North Carolina.
I'm Liz. I'm the minion there.
I'm Hannah. I'm minion number 2.
Yay! And I didn't say anything about the weather, but the weather is maybe going to be nicer.
It's going to be just like 2 degrees chillier than yesterday.
Which people at home don't know what it was like yesterday.
It was
What
75.
So nice.
So yay,
So
it's
nice.
almost kind of spring. Are we going to get cold weather again?
Not cold, but
Chilly
icky.
and wet.
Icky. Okay.
Wet, 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 wet.
This weekend's going to be,
Is it?
Gross.
See, I
Nasty.
depend on them to figure out what's going to happen with the weather. So, but the icky makes it cold, right? Kind of. So.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, hopefully it'll be nice today. It was really nice yesterday. It was really, really nice. I redid the door over the past couple days because it was so nice. I put nice lettering for open close. Maybe if I have time and remember, I'll put in an end shot of. I tried to take photos, but you see my reflection more than you see what I did. But it's not sunny today, so maybe I could.
Yeah.
Yet.
Anyway, yet. So right after this,
Manifesting.
yes,
The sun.
manifesting. We're going to manifest the sun to come out today.
I can't.
Anyway, I put nice lettering on the doors, like sticker lettering on the doors for our hours, and I drew a logo on the side that used to have kind of a haphazard name and hours. So I think it looks pretty, but it's because it was warmer, because the letters actually had instructions saying don't put them up if it's under 40 degrees. And I saw as I was putting the letters up, there's added instructions of if you don't have warm temperatures, you can order different letters that go on the inside.
Oh.
That are like backwards, so then they go on the inside, you can read them right from the outside. We didn't have to resort to that, so nice to know that's an option. Anyway, so if there's letter stealers or something, I can put them on the inside. I don't think we're going to have that problem. That's where my brain goes. What if someone peels off the letters?
It's an
Yes,
awful lot of work.
because that's a real issue around here.
There-
That just be sarcasm. Yes, okay.
The alphabet's in jeopardy.
Well, okay, because what I did is I put stuff up, and then you peel off the hours that are incorrect and put up the hours that are the ones you want up there. So I know they're not very hard to take off, but I know I'm worried about nothing. So anyway,
Speaking of alphabet, I found the card.
what card?
The card that we were missing.
You did?
Yeah.
Where was it?
In a completely different category. But it was filed correctly.
How would it be filed correctly if it wasn't where it was alphabetically supposed to be?
It was under
'Cause-
the other part of the name.
Was it under S?
Uh-huh.
It was a 2-part name. And,
Will you finish this for me?
How did I guess where it would be? Sometimes we're weird with our alphabet. So, okay. I was going to turn to you to see how things are. Oh, I can do nuts and bolts, and what I call nuts and bolts is the technical things we need to get out of the way. So that's what I used to do with my classes is say, okay,
You missed a bit.
you could do it yourself.
I'm not that good.
Let's get the technical stuff out of the way.
I might
So
just start licking.
Go for it, Mom.
welcome to life at the shop. We have our Sunday virtual sit and stitch this Sunday. I almost lost track of it. I haven't been giving people warnings that it's coming. It's this Sunday. Once a month, we do. I call it dual platform virtual sit and stitch, just to have a mouthful. And it's Facebook Live and Zoom. Our Tuesday night sit and stitches are on Zoom, and those are every week from 7 to 8 p.m., right? Check
7
me
to
on that.
8 p.m.
They have to multitask. Ha ha ha. And Tuesday night ones are every week, 7 to 8 p.m. You get into Zoom with the shop phone number.
828-877-3550.
Yes. And the Sunday ones are once a month. They are from 2 to 4. All of these are Eastern U.S. time, by the way, which we're now on daylight savings time. And let me tell you, that has messed me up this week. So, my clock in my car still is off by an hour. So
Same.
I know the time it would have been. Because I didn't drive it because
For
I
a
was
week,
having work
yeah.
done on it, and then I had work done. It had major surgery yesterday, so I still haven't switched that. Anyway,
I've
back
been
on
driving
topic.
my car, and my car's still off an hour.
That's a choice.
That sounds like that's a choice and a personal problem. Okay, so
You didn't fix it.
this Sunday,
I don't know how.
Sorry.
I know how to fix mine, but I just haven't yet. This Sunday from 2 to 4 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, and anyone outside of the U.S., we did have daylight savings kick in. We sprung forward an hour. So use whatever device you need to figure out what time that is for you. But you can join us on Facebook Live or Zoom. I always say Zoom. It's the same. It's the shop phone number to get in. I find Zoom is great if you want to see the other people participating. On Facebook Live, you can type in comments and I'll relay them to the group and you can hear the group, but you only see my shining face. Because we're not putting the Zoom people on camera that way. The Zoom thing is both public and private. It's public and you get to hear it, but it's private and that the visuals are just for
You
the
can't
people
see
on
us.
Zoom. Yeah.
You can hear us.
It's more community for the people on Zoom. Anyway, enough about that.
That
So,
sounds awkward.
what's awkward?
It's public and private.
Right. It is a little awkward because people say stuff on Zoom that they may or may not know is going out into Facebook land. But at least we're not putting the faces up there because that feels like an invasion of privacy, I think. So I don't do that. I just make you all look at me for 2 hours and what I'm working on. Anyway, so that is happening Sunday. It is March 16th on Sunday,
Yes.
I believe.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And then just as a heads up down the road, we'll circle back to it if there's time at the end because it's over there. April and May. We're still in our second month of the Staffin' Make-Along, and my Staffin' is sitting here, but I'm not going to show it to you this week because I have made absolutely no progress since last Thursday. So there's no point. At least I think there's no point. If you're joining us for the first time and you're like, but I want to see your Staffin', go watch last week.
You tried it on last week.
I did.
Yeah.
So go watch last week. Yay! And subscribe and all that fun stuff. Starting in April, even if I'm not done with my Staffins, which I probably won't be done with the vest, we're starting a new make-along. We're doing our one crochet make-along. I say we. I'm really the one who does it. But y'all can be ready to talk about it if you want. We're starting our Granny Hexy, and it's a hexagon.
Gone.
Hexagon, yeah.
I keep confusing hexagon and hexagram. Because they both have the G after the hex and the... anyway. Granny Hexy cardigan. It's our one crochet one. It is not this cardigan, as I scratch because it's wool. But it's actually soft wool. Anyway, this one has granny squares. The Granny Hexy has a different construction. But I'm so excited to maybe hopefully finish one soon so I can wear it. Because I really want to wear... But I have to finish it first. I'm just staring at you because it's easier to make eye contact with you than with her right now.
I made one for a monkey.
Was this a live monkey or a stuffed
No,
monkey?
this was a stuffed monkey.
I'm just clarifying for people watching at home. You did, though. You did.
I thought I got it big enough, and it just...
Oh, so you
Yeah.
thought it was big enough and you finished it,
I
and then
totally
you tried it on and
did.
were
I
like...
totally thought that I got it. I, put it on and everything, and... Yep, nope. My crochet lied to me.
I'm sorry.
It was mean.
Well, hopefully, during the make-along, we can help navigate that kind of issue. Or have any hints for what might have happened so it doesn't happen again. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anyway, enough about that. We'll circle back to that. That's the next, big event. I have classes coming up that are in-shop classes. But that's the next big event that might have some virtual options to it. So stay tuned for more info on that. I'm going to turn it over to Liz to talk about what she's been working on. I was about to interrupt again. I'm not. Okay.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say we have gotten away from our Dear Becky and Lizzie, which would now be Dear Becky and Lizzie and Hannah, but I don't know how to make your name into an E.
Please don't.
Yeah, right? So, Dear Becky and Lizzie and Hannah, if you have any questions, I'm starting to, like, wax poetic on, or, like, theorize on things on my individual channel, too, of Sun Dragon Tips and Tricks Rebecca at Home. But we've gotten away from people asking us questions, and that's still an option if you want it. Because that's something else we can talk about once a week, is if you have questions that we can give our best, either knowledgeable or theorizing answers on in relation to knit and crochet, the best way to get that to us is to either write us a card or a letter, which would be wonderful. You send that to Sun Dragon Art and Fiber, 181 Rosman Highway is our address now, and that's in Brevard, North Carolina, 28712. I'll try to put that address in the description. Or you can email
Liz at sundragonartandfiber.com.
Because if you email me, it might get lost. She gets fewer things on her email than I get on mine. So, now that I've said that, we're just going to talk about our projects, because that's what we have. Okay.
I am still working on this. The Destination
And what is that?
Unknown by Cheryl Faust. Although, after a while, I'm going to change the pattern because, anyway.
After a while, the destination will be known. No.
Well, there's another shawl that
That
I
was
want, and anyway,
bit.
I'm going to. Anyway,
You're going to Lizify it.
I'm going to Lizify the bottom of it, but
That looks so pretty.
it's coming out super.
Cheryl Faust has such pretty
Yes.
patterns.
And it was written for fingering weight on tiny little needles, and I'm doing it on a 10.5 out of Wizard. So Wizard does fantastic color work, by the way. The other thing is I finished a project. And for a hot minute, I went down to 207 projects on needles, and then
You
I promptly
still-
started a new one.
You still weren't under 200, though.
No. I finished my fluffy, it's Poema Cashmere, Cash Silk Light, and Mohair. It's McCarty. It's big and floppy, and it goes down further than any
You
of
said
my...
it's my Cardi. I was hearing McCarty, and I'm
I
like,
was like,
what designer is that?
McCarty. But okay.
McCarty. Okay, got it. I'm
Anyway,
following.
it's big and fluffy, and it
Glad
is
I wasn't the only one.
super warm, and anyway.
Did you say what you held together while I was distracted?
Yes.
Okay.
I lost the will to knit at a certain point, so it has typical Liz crochet at the bottom because I lost the will to knit, especially since I was doing increases so I could make sure it would go around my dresses.
Was that also your plan to make it pretty at the bottom anyway?
No,
Even if you didn't lose the will to
the
knit?
ultimate plan was to just make it, go down until I had 15 rows of black, and
But I
lost the will to-
like that you've got the same frilly edge on your sleeves too.
I added that because my sleeves were a little too short.
But guess what? Put your arms down for a second.
Yeah.
That makes it the same length as the bottom. Look at that.
Does it really?
Almost.
Dang.
Yeah.
It's so fashionable for you.
It's so super floppy
For
too
you.
because
Well, no, I don't mean that as a bad thing.
well, I didn't do the picked
it's
up.
Liz's fashion, you know.
It's
Liz's
yeah.
I'm distracted. Sorry. I'm looking
I didn't pick up the stitches for the collar, so like the collar just goes straight down into the thing, and it's super floppy and was
that's
like huge.
you.
So starting at this raglan increase on both sides, I took a smaller crochet hook and the same yarn, and I did slip stitches up until I tacked down the back of the collar to where it kind of gives it a bit more structure over the shoulders and around the back. And then
that is, I mean, I will interject. That is something that top-down things that don't have, like, we've moved away from having pieced sweaters where you sew all the pieces together because people don't like sewing. But that means, or they want something where they don't have to do lots of complicated stuff at the end. But that means there is less structure to it, and sometimes that hangs funny.
It just, like, you can...
Like right in there?
Yeah, you can see that, I mean, it tightens. There's no give to it, whereas down here,
so there's
it's like
ways
really
to
springy.
what I'm saying then is there's ways to fake that. What I'm pulling from your design is there's ways to fake that structure.
And I tucked the collar down to so it wasn't super floppy either. But yeah, I tightened it up.
But don't ask Liz for really specific instructions on that because
this is the sweater I cast on and then had the wrong stitch count.
I'm trying to say.
I thought it was winged.
Yeah, well, I didn't know, so I was making up words.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm gonna wing it, but how do you say that afterwards? I wung it. I winged it. Someone who knows, I know English kind of well, but not well enough. My dad will testify.
After I got out of high school, it was.
I got to tell my dad stories last night of how I was editing things to make him proud because he's always saying I need more grammar help.
Oh.
It's not up to his.
How kind.
I think my mom gave him a shirt, we were talking about it last night, that says, I'm quietly judging your grammar.
Well, we have a pin around here that says math is important, but English is importanter.
Isn't it the other way around?
English is important. English is important, but math is importanter.
That actually goes with the,
because the shop
joke.
Math needs more.
Oh my gosh, it's just anyway. So you finished this.
I finished this.
I think you've made some good progress on that.
Yep,
that is wonderful.
I blocked my tiny little knit lace last night, but I'm not gonna bring it in until it's on a hat. Okay. So in April, everybody will get to see it.
Awesome. And just as a reminder for people who may or may not have been following us, this Cheryl Faust pattern, she's doing it in Wizard, which is a bulky. And what needle are you using?
10.5.
And what was the pattern written for?
Fingering on tiny little needles that I didn't pay attention to because it was tiny little needles.
So she Lizified that too. And that's a classic Lizification, I feel like, is to take something and put it on the needles and the yarn that you want to use.
It like for a shawl, it's easier to do that because it's a shawl. You just go until you got it the size.
It doesn't have to have fit or have like I talk about gauge. If you want it to come out the same size as the pattern writer intended, then you work to get gauge whatever needle that requires, stitches per inch. But a shawl, if it's bigger, it's bigger. Yay!
I like bigger shawls, but like for sweaters, I wind up having to do magic math because I take a lot of fingering weight sweaters and not so.
So Hannah, what you been working on?
I've been doing a lot of work on my dark matter, and clearly not enough to finish a row, but
that's okay.
That's fine.
But so, what is dark matter?
Dark matter is a Cheryl Faust shawl as well. Just because my gauge is only met when I go up a needle size because I have very tight tension. I had to go up 1 or 2 needle sizes to meet the gauge. Especially with it having floats because it's a mosaic and everything, different from colorwork floats and all of that. But
they're shorter floats, and you only get 1 float per row instead of floats.
Bunch.
Well, actually, let me say
you get 2 floats a row, a rib.
You get 2 floats.
It looks
of
like
hats,
that on
but
the
here's
back.
Here's what I mean by the floats are different in colorwork versus stranded colorwork versus mosaic. Is stranded colorwork, you have floats of both colors on every row. And mosaic, you only have floats of one color because you go over and back. And they tend to be shorter floats because you don't slip as many stitches.
It's like 5 at most.
At most,
but it
right?
can still
usually
get
like 3.
really tight.
Yeah.
And
so
mine tend to get tight if I'm not careful. So I went up, I think, 2 needle sizes. Well, a needle size or 2.
So that's the back of it.
Yeah.
What's the front look like?
This is the front.
And that shows, again, it's like getting some I feel like looking at it on camera is like getting some distance from it. Because that pops more than looking at it like just like this, like right up close at first. I will ask you to hold that up again in a minute when it's my turn so that, because I was going to work on mine. I've started one a long time ago.
It's okay.
And then I was really tired last night.
Another number.
So, but how's, I know it's not here, but did you take a break from your other Cheryl Faust that you were working on?
I didn't do a ton of knitting, so I think I only did like 2 rows, and it doesn't look much different.
Which is fine,
So,
you know. And again,
yeah.
so we will say, if you want to see how her other Cheryl Faust shawl is coming, go back and look at previous episodes. So, so if that is what you have for, and I didn't do a whole lot of knitting and crocheting either. I did and I didn't. Like this
Yeah.
week, there's been so much going on. I went home last night and said, okay, I have these 3 or 4 things I'm going to work on because now all the busy stuff is done. And I made dinner. I like talked to my parents and I made dinner and I ate dinner late. And then I went, I was going to knit or crochet or something. And I looked down in my bag and went, I don't even have the energy. I just didn't. So I completely get that. Life has been crazy lately. Since you have that out, oh, here's mine. Okay. What I thought would be neat, and I think my gauge, like I didn't pay attention to gauge. I just dug in and went. But I have not seen, mine's teeny tiny compared to yours. You want to hold up yours up again. What I think is really cool about this, let me hold mine at the same angle. So we have the same color changing yarn. And I'm hoping to get some more done on this for like, as you make progress, I can make progress too and we can compare. But the difference here is, I think mine is snow. I don't think it's white. But I'm using an off-white contrast and she's using black, right? And I just think that is so cool. It's the same yarn. But the color contrast you use is going to change how the color changing yarn looks, kind of, right? So I feel like black, like this color that we're using, we're both using Perth
McLaren Veil.
McLaren Veil. I usually say black makes everything look like stained glass. Makes it pop. This is such a muted color. It's hard to have that effect, but I love how
I like this.
even though we are using the same color changing yarn as our, is it our contrast color? I can't remember if it's main or contrast. But
I have no idea.
I don't know either off the top of my head. But it like they're totally different shawls. You wouldn't know that we are using the same color in that spot, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Well, we also hold up your ball of the Perth. It's right there on
Oh,
the table.
haha.
It's okay. No, it's like it kind of looks the same, but kind of not.
Yours looks like it has more reds in it, and hers looks like it has more greens in it. Just
Well,
from back here.
And that's the barber pole, I like to call the fractal spinning in this, where we've got a couple different plies interacting, will change the shades that it comes out as. So it's the same yarn, but look, mine looks a lot lighter than yours, which is kind of crazy because I have the lighter contrast. So we'll see if that conflicts at points or not, or if that actually works fine. So it almost like we'd want to swap if you want your lighter to. We'll see how it comes out. I think they're both going to look beautiful.
It'll be
So-
interesting.
It'll be very interesting. So I hadn't worked on that in forever, and I was going to. I was like, so we could be at the same point and show, and life just happened. So, okay. So my stuff. Let's see. I'm gonna hang on to. I blocked this one, but I'm gonna make y'all wait till the end, cause I'm mean. Okay. Cause I like having the not tension, but suspense. That's the word I was going for.
Well, you could arguably say tension.
That too. Tension has so
Build
many
the
meetings in a
tension.
yarn shop. Unintended pun. Okay, so this was my palette cleanser. I can't remember if I'd started this last week when we filmed.
Yes.
Okay.
But you didn't have that many.
You started that a few weeks ago.
No, I started that this last week.
Really?
I literally started it
Dude,
like
time
last
has
Tuesday
been
or Wednesday.
passing so slow.
It's both slow and fast. It's kind of weird. I was probably down here, and this is my palette cleanser that yesterday I was going, I'm going to finish it. And, then I could be like, ta-da, look how cute that is. It's not done yet, though. So this is the Tentacula. And I tried to put it in and find the name as Tentacular. There's no R on the end. It's tentacula. Because I was like, why can't I find the pattern? I know I bought it. I was like making it into spectacular or something with tentacles. I don't know. It's tentacula. And I love like all the pull fabric. Like it's got such a neat stitch definition, funkiness
It almost
to
looks
it.
like ribbons going up it.
Right? It's like, it's got woos. And that's the technical term.
Woos.
Woos. I'm using Noro Sayun and
In the color Yuki.
in the color Yuki. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That you said reminded you of the beach, kind of, when we first got it
beachy
in.
sunrise.
This is 7 inches tall. It's supposed to be 7 3/4 inches before I start the crown decreases, so I'm almost there. If I had had energy to knit last night, this would be done. But I did not. Speaking of Sayun, I think I've made progress on this. This is from the cover of the latest Noro magazine. I think it's so pretty. Look at that. It is 2 colors. Speaking of mosaic, mosaic's really popular lately, and
I
it's just
love it.
it's fun. And you only have to hold 1 yarn color at a time. You get pattern work without having to navigate 2 yarns juggling across the row. This falls into my lap, but when you have 2 color changing yarns, look how pretty that is. I love it. It's gonna take me forever to finish it, but I love it. And that's mainly because I'm working on too many things. Hi.
Plus the
Hi.
smiles.
Yay! Okay, so upcoming classes I have that I was trying to get some work done on. This is the Laulu. Laulu is what I'm saying. I might be messing it up because I want to say it's Norwegian. It's sorry, Nordland. So I might not be pronouncing that right. But this is how far I am through my 1 skein of Poema Cashmere. And I am entering yarn chicken territory. So this was only supposed to go up to maybe here and then get smaller again if you do the really small version of it. I was calling it the Laulu shawl, and it's just the Laulu for the pattern. And I think it's like almost like a kerchief, really, with the smallest size of it. But I wanted to use my whole entire skein of yarn, which is over 500 yards. So I kept doing increases, like repeats of the pattern. Every time you increase, I've got a stitch marker here, and here, and here, and here, and a little bit here. And every time you increase, you repeat a box on the chart 1 more time. And you have to go up to a certain row on the chart before you can go to the decrease ones. And I've just started my decreases. Getting up to that point, though, this weighed 49 or 48 grams of 100 grams. So at the turnaround point, technically, if this weighed 100 grams when I started, which we talked about at Knit Night, that I didn't weigh it before I started to make sure it was 100 grams. Sometimes there's some wiggle room in that. It's about 100 grams that things are sold in a lot of times, or 50. So this was under 50 grams when I started my turnaround to go back, which means I will be playing yarn chicken to see if I can get all the way to the end of my decreases before I run out of yarn. But I didn't want to turn around and lose some of the inside color of this. So I'm playing yarn chicken. We'll see how it comes out. This is really pretty because it has cables and lace in it, and it's really fun to knit, and this stuff is so soft. The Land du Nord Poema Cashmere is so soft. I'm doing a class on this in the shop. There's still a few spots available on March 22nd. So if anyone is local and wants to come to that class, contact the shop to sign up. We're going to learn how to read the charts and stuff. Apparently pink and peach is my thing right now because the last class in March is going to be the Monty wrap, which is a crochet shawl that I finally got to. I stayed up way too late. Was it Friday night, I think?
One of the nights.
It was Thursday or Friday night because the and I'm pulling out a stitch here, but that's okay. The bottom part of this, if you make it the full size that Tony Lipsy wrote, has these stripes of half double crochets, and I wanted to make a shop sample that was the same size as her instructions. I've made this shawl multiple times before, and I've made this part shorter because I lose the will to crochet. So I stayed up one night to do 2 stripes of this and I really couldn't function the next day. But now I'm in the fun part. Look at that. I love this. I love
the fluffy on it.
And I'm finally making a fluffy version of it, holding a lace weight. I'm holding West Yorkshire Spinners exquisite lace in this lovely, I guess it's a peach color. I don't know. Yeah. With
apricot-y.
There you go. With a cream mohair. And the stripes in the lower part of this were the same color of exquisite lace with a color changing mohair. And now that I'm in this part, I'm only going to use the cream and the peach. But I love this effect. I feel like there's a lot of crochet out there that has the frills and has the puffs and has the scallopy shapes to it. And I really love that this has a more angular look to it. Like, I call it lattice work, kind of.
It's a lattice.
It looks like a lattice fence kind of thing. And I love that it's more geometrically straight when the weight pulls at it. And so I'm doing a class on this March 29th. Again, it's in shop. Virtual classes are tough right now. I'm trying to have a virtual coach and connect on the Granny Hexie cardigan, but we are running out of time. The shop needs to open soon. So y'all are just going to have to wait till next week for the Granny Hexie cardigan, because I want to finish today. And this, if I really work on it, I'm going to really bust out some stuff on this, because this goes quickly once I'm in there. So I want to show you all how this blocked out. And I'm going to need everybody's help for this, or at least Hannah, and this is going to be in front of your face.
I know.
Because I think it's almost as wide as the stone catcher when I blocked it. The stone catcher is really long. So I aggressively blocked this. This is my Papillon, the moth version. And aggressive blocking means I super pinned it out to stretch it out and shape it. And look how big it got.
Not this tall.
Look at the bottom.
It's flat. It's nice and flat.
Yep. And look how pretty that is. And here, I got a strand in front. Okay. What? Not something she wants repeated. Okay.
There's no.
There's no what? No, there isn't, because because you don't block yours.
I don't block mine.
If you want to know what we're talking about, ask us, but not right now. So how I blocked this is I started in the center on the blocking pads, and I stretched out the top nice and straight. And then I pulled the center spine down as far as I could on the blocking mats that I had. Then I started pulling on the pins. I pinned where the pods are. Like, I pulled those out really far. And then I started pulling on the little picots. And I pinned them all individually. But I figured out there's 9 picots between each pod.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh.
And so I would count to the 5th one and pull that one out, and then pull all the others. So this top part took no time at all. Spacing out these guys, I needed 3 sets of Knitter's Pride blocking combs, a pack of T-pins, and then I went into my sewing pins. Like my yellow-headed sewing pins, to have enough pins, because I pinned each picot individually.
That's a lot.
It is.
That's why I don't block mine.
It didn't take me all night, but that's all I did Tuesday night after. And look, we can just swaddle Liz in this.
You don't want to. I have my lipstick on.
We can do it under here. Anyway, so this I'm so proud and happy this is done. This brown yarn, which is so pretty, we don't have anymore, and it's not made anymore, and I'm sorry. But this was my last finish for Finish Your Frog at February, and
we'll find a wall.
We'll find a wall to put it up in the shop. I have not woven any of my ends in. No one is surprised by that. But that was my last thing to show you all. So, what do we say at the end?
Like, subscribe, ring the bell, all the fun stuff.
And we should be open now, so we're going to go. But thanks for joining us this week. And if you have questions you want us to talk about, then email Liz or send us a pretty card. And, yeah, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Or on Sunday, if you come
on
to
Sunday.
the virtual dual platform sit and stitch thing. Okay, bye.